Hey, Miss Mercer, Lori Quinn here. Just a quick demo on this Cricut. I'm not sure we'll have time to actually do it today when I drop it off. But you just plug it in, lift up the top. Here's your panel. You can turn it on. And then these are sticky. Now, they've lost a lot of their stickiness, so generally what I do is I take a glue stick, stick it on, and put my paper on. It sticks much better. I'm giving you a supply of paper just because I've got so darn much paper. And you put it on. I'm going to do this lightly, but really you need to use both hands and press it on really good. I do particularly now because I don't have the glue stick on it first. There's a green spot in the corner. You stick that in as far as you can. I see I got two of them on here. I didn't need that. Stick that in. And then on the panel, now this thing comes off. I'm going to give you a collection of several different kinds that are in here. And there's different script and they have different options. Anyway, so, but it's the same thing in all of these. You're going to load it. You're going to load the paper, and that causes it to go in. There's a needle, a very sharp needle inside there. This is telling me to figure out my paper, so I'm just going to reset my whole paper here. And I did that by just turning portrait off. And so normally, when you load this, that's going to load the paper. Shoot, I didn't have that down very well. And that's right there in that corner. Now here, you can go at an angle, you can go straight down, you can go over. You're just deciding where you want to cut. And I just bring it in just a little bit from that corner generally. It's going to have a mind of its own as to how much to cut. It takes a lot of practice, and I haven't learned really how to manage this better. I waste quite a bit of paper. I got plenty of paper, so I don't mind doing the wasting. But you're going to put in, I'm going to put in fever. I don't know why fever. I'm just picking fever. And you can see that it's typing out fever right there. You can backspace out what you don't want. And if you want an uppercase letter, there's a shift. Now I do an F, so I'm getting a capital F there. E-V-E-R. You decide how big this is. This is, it's 8 1/4 inches. That's a lot. So down here, you use this and dial it down to whatever size you want. So I'll leave it at 2 inches. There's a gauge here as far as the speed, and then there's also one here for the pressure. On this pressure one, you would use it perhaps if it's a very heavy paper. I'm going to give you some of this brown, which is chipboard, that's very heavy. That you would need to increase the pressure. And then you're just ready to cut. Now it's going to do a little calculation. If you've got too much, sorry, this isn't sticking well, which is why it's scooping it. If it does that, just stop it and start all over. I didn't hold it down. I didn't use the glue, so that's why that's happening. If you try to get too much on a piece of paper, or it is too big, it just doesn't fit the paper, then you're going to have to make some decisions. Do fewer letters, whatever. All right, when you're done, you just unload the paper. When it is printing, it goes all the way through into the back. You got to have room back here in order for it to come out, and then when it unloads, it'll always come back out here in the front. I've never had it get stuck. You just use these buttons and you should be okay. You can change the kind that you have by pulling this out. I've given you some others. Not a lot of choices here, but here is one. This is wild card. I don't really know what's in it. Sorry. And there's going to be your little cartridge, and then there's your overlay. So I just keep them all together in there. It just makes it easier to figure out. Once you have got these all printed, they become quite sticky, especially if you use the glue stick. So I've got a little kit that I'm going to give you. It's this little green kit. There's everything that's in there. I really don't use very much in here. This is what I use most of the time. And this lets me scrape what's on the sticky board. But there's other tools in there too as well. So I'm just going to set that up. I do have a couple of other needles in here. If for some reason you think you need to swap out the needle. I think the one that's in there is fairly new, but if you think you need to, please go ahead and do that. As for these two things, one's very long and one used to be long, and I actually cut it, I think. They're not very sticky. If you ruin these, I don't care. I've used these so many times that if they get exhausted and not usable again, I'm just fine with that.